What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Stream Growth Media. Today we're going to be checking out the Razer Kiyo Pro. Now, I needed another camera, another point of view outside of my DSLR. Currently, what you're seeing me through is the Sony a7S II, and while I love that DSLR, I just can't mount it in every single place on the fly. So luckily right now during the holidays of 2021, you can pick this up for $100 instead of the MSRP of $200. So overall, my goal for this camera is to actually use it hand in hand with the Sony a7S II. I'm not trying to compare these things because they're two completely different cameras, but can I actually set up my Kiyo Pro to a boom arm and actually just do product reviews? So potentially maybe I have a lens and I could just do one of these numbers, and you know, I get the shot, get out, and it still looks like it belongs in the same video. So outside the clutter on this desk, this is pretty much how I decided to set up my Razer Kiyo Pro. I really needed an overhead cam just because my main one's a little bit too heavy for me to be having it hang upside down without all these ridiculous clamps. I think this is going to add a little flavor to the channel. Now the Kiyo Pro did come with its own stand, and I gotta tell you, this thing right here, it's actually pretty versatile. I mean, you could clamp it right on top of your monitor, and it holds steady pretty well. I mean, honestly, I had no issues mounting this anywhere I needed it to be mounted. So right now, you guys are listening to me through the SM7B right here. I'm gonna go ahead and mute this and show you guys what this camera actually sounds like, because it does come with a built-in mic. So let's go ahead and test that out. So I have now disconnected my SM7B and I am speaking directly to the webcam. Right now, I would say the distance is about 1.5 feet between me and the camera. So if you think this quality is good enough for you, then by all means use it. But when it comes to webcam microphones, honestly, most streamers are going to have their own external microphones at this point, whether it's a Blue Yeti or their own Razer type product or the Elgato Wave. So plenty of microphones out there with plenty of various budgets for you to actually upgrade the quality if you feel you need a little more oomph than what's coming from the webcam. So here we have the Razer Kiyo Pro software. Now, I don't expect to get mind-blowing colors out of this, even though HDR is enabled, but can I actually get some usability out of this? Is it a nice experience using the software? Let's talk about it. Overall, when you just get the camera, it's gonna look like this. It's pretty blue. Not emotionally, but literally the color's pretty blue. I have a key light to my front right, so overall I don't feel like I should have this kind of, you know, really cool look. And by cool, I don't mean like, hey, hang loose. I mean like blue. So let's try some of these other presets. It only gives you 4 that are preset, and then you customize your own. So cool is actually, I would say default is more cool than the actual preset of cool. I look more purple than anything. Under vibrant, it looks pretty washed out and gray. Warm just makes me very magenta, but it is better. I mean, overall, it's more natural skin tones, I suppose. Custom is where I did it. Here's the thing about it. Really, it's going to come down to your white balance. And the white balance is very tricky because, as you can see, it just goes from blue to purple. So I don't know why it does that. Overall, I guess it's the sensor size. It's not going to capture as much dynamic range as, say, again, the Sony a7S II. It's not to flex any of these DSLRs. We're working with what we have here, but we got to call it how we see them at the end of the day, and these are the limiting factors when you go for a webcam over a DSLR. But even with that said, I think the quality is actually very nice. I mean, I'll show you guys what it's like when I remove HDR. So this is 30 frames per second, and the reason it is 30 frames per second is because I do have that HDR turned on. When I turn it off, you're gonna notice that I just get blown out. As you can see, this entire side of my face where the key light is on, it just turns completely white. That is an issue. I would recommend keeping HDR on, even though it is smoother. If you see my hand motions here, it's very smooth because obviously you have double the frame rate. But the thing is, perhaps if you don't use a key light, it would probably be better. So if you're solely buying this webcam just to use the 60 FPS feature, then I would highly suggest, you know, maybe getting a better diffuser if you have some key lights going for you. Because again, it completely just whites my face out and it just blows it out pretty bad. So if you have a better diffuser, or maybe using your key light and moving it farther away, I can see the 60 FPS being more functional. But again, for my situation, I'm going to keep HDR on, and I'm rocking with the 30 frames per second. And I gotta tell you, this webcam looks really dope. I love the way it actually looks like a real camera lens. It's unfortunate that these ridges right here don't actually control the zoom for the webcam. That would have just taken it to another level. Wouldn't have been like mind-blowing or anything, but just the idea that these ridges right here, it really makes you believe that you're able to have like a telescopic zoom. So a little unfortunate that that's not the case, but overall the visuals of this thing is just really slick. I mean, come on, look at that. It looks literally kind of like, you know, an actual camera lens. Here we have one with an actual rotating barrel, so you can actually check out the zoom because this is in a prime lens, and your focus right there. So what are the takeaways from this video? If you find this camera for $200, I would say steer clear, but for $100, I would say go ahead and pick it up. It is decent for what you're getting. Sure, you can try to get into the GoPros and things like that, but then you have to buy a capture card, and overall it gets very finicky. This was really easy to set up. It does come with a built-in mic, and overall for $100 you do get a pretty strong package, so I highly recommend it if you don't have a camera already and if you don't have a microphone. I think overall it'll get you started if you're looking for something in a pinch. But again, for $200, stay clear. For $100, hey, you're in the clear. I say go ahead and pick it up. Like, comment, subscribe, and with that said, this is Stream Growth Media signing out.